Hello everyone, this is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne, and I'll bring you a video tonight titled, What the Elevated Woman Needs from You. But before we go any further, always know my videos in the dating space, they're brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. And thank you to everyone who's ordered your copies. I'm pretty much sold out, but I have some more copies on the way so you all can safely place your orders. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe so I can continue to be pushed up the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. What the elevated woman needs from you. If you've been watching my previous two videos, I've been talking about women who attempt to move the needle ahead of when you're ready to progress things in a relationship and an interaction. And I've been talking about women who are intimidated by you and who don't quite know how to function in your space, so that turns to hate because they can't control and manipulate you. So that is a particular type of woman that I have addressed in my previous couple of videos. But tonight I want to talk about the other woman. The woman that is worthy of being in your space and the one who has prepared to be in your space to the best of her ability. So in my previous videos, if you really think about it, I've talked about this woman without talking about the woman. But tonight I'm going to talk about the woman. Meaning that I showed you the side of the woman, the type of woman that you shouldn't pair yourself with. But in doing that, I was indirectly showing you the type of woman that you should pair yourself with. So tonight I want to bring an emphasis and focus to the woman that you should pair yourself with, the elevated woman, and the fact that she's done some work and she needs some things from you to remain in your space. So the first thing that the elevated woman needs from you is for you to not make any offerings to her for her to remain in your space. If a woman is elevated, she understands the magnitude and the power and the advantage of having an elevated man in her life. A man that has been effectively able to govern himself, who doesn't have to brag and boast about his accomplishments and the things that he's done, because his life speaks for itself. The backdrop of continual success communicates to the elevated woman that this is a centered and grounded man that should have a healthy perception of himself that she can trust to guide her in life. So that's what the first thing that the elevated woman is looking for, is that you're not offering anything except yourself, because she understands that if you're truly grounded in yourself, then you're not going to make any offerings to her, because you have an understanding of your place in the food chain and the place in the order of creation, that you're her leader. A leader does not offer anything to someone to follow them. The only thing that the leader does is show up as themselves and allows the woman to make a discernible decision about the magnitude of man that is right in front of her, meaning that he's shown up as himself and he's given her the space to choose whether he is the man that she deems as a leader that she can follow. So if you offer anything or you incentivize a woman to be in your space, the elevated woman is going to see you as weak, because you don't have an identity and you're not centered in yourself if you're offering anything outside of yourself. She immediately gets out of the space of a man who's offering her incentives to be in his space, because she can't trust that man, because that man doesn't trust himself. A man who can effectively lead and govern himself has an understanding of the impact that he makes in every woman's life that he enters. So he has no incentive, he has no instinct to offer a woman incentives to be in his space. And so subsequently, the elevated woman is going to see that and recognize you as a safe space to explore. Not submit to, because you haven't shown enough of yourself in her life yet, but she at least recognizes you as a safe place that she can explore. Because you don't want to have a woman who's prepared for you to look at you and see that you're not a safe space that she can explore. Any signs of weakness, the elevated woman is going to disappear, because anything that a woman observes about you in the beginning, it only amplifies in magnitude over time. So if you show up as weak, She understands that you're going to do what the other weak men in her life have done, which is disappoint her and put her in a dangerous position, because a man who is not effectively able to lead himself and govern himself and revere himself is a dangerous space for an elevated woman. She understands guidance. And so the next thing that the elevated woman needs from you is, once again, to have a full understanding of yourself and to be a space that she can transfer herself into. And I do make biblical references at time, and I just look at the Bible, and it talks about the woman forgetting her father's house when she enters her husband's house. I look at the fact of a wedding, that a father gives the woman away. There's a transfer of guidance and leadership and provision that she's looking for. And this is where it gets detailed right here. Not every woman that is ready to transfer into your space has a father. But the woman has been able to accept the guidance and the leadership from sources outside of her father if she's adequately prepared for you and can recognize you as a man that she can successfully transfer herself to. Elevated women understand that they're best under the guidance and leadership of an elevated man. So they're looking to transfer into the final space of her man, her husband, the man that she deems as her leader. She's looking for you to be a space that she can transfer herself into. And that's what she's looking for, and that's what she needs from you. So you have the first scenario where a woman has a father, and he's been effectively able to lead her, and his wisdom and guidance has gotten her to a favorable place in life, okay? You have that woman. And then you have other women who don't have fathers, who have somehow been able to value men enough that she sought wisdom from different places in her life to prepare for her ultimate man, which is her husband. Both of these women are looking for leadership. They're looking for guidance, and they're looking for a safe space that they can transfer themselves into. And I just want to tell a story about a young woman that I dealt with when I was 31 and she was 23. And her father was incarcerated for the better part of her life, so she barely knew him, if she knew her father at all. And I met this woman, and we hit it off. She offered herself to me. The lust was there, the desire, and the respect was there. There was a solid foundation between me and this young woman. And I can just remember how she watched me, how I moved over time, and she began to submit herself to me without me asking, based on the results that she saw in my life. She saw how I was living in terms of living below my means, doing very well for myself successfully, monetarily. She saw me purchase new cars and pay cash for them. She saw how I didn't have any holes in my game, and every move that I made was calculated because I was a man of vision and purpose. And she didn't quite have that in her life, but she was a chosen woman, even though she didn't have a father. See, a chosen woman instinctively recognizes and desires the guidance of an elevated man. That's the woman who's chosen to be in the space of an elevated man. And that was her. Right out of Southeast DC, man, from one of the most unsuspecting spaces that you would have a woman of this magnitude move this way. And I'm not saying anything negative about Southeast, because I was born in Southeast. So let's not get that twisted, okay? But, there was a certain stigma, and there was an unexpected way that she was moving. And it was a bit perplexing to me to see her fall under my leadership without me even asking her to do so. And she began to point out different things in my life and say that she aspired to move the same way. So she was transferring herself to my covering, even though she didn't come from a traditional house with a father and have a traditional covering. And this is what you have to look at. You have to give every woman that you desire a chance to transfer herself into your covering, because you don't know how her source and her creator has been preparing her to transfer into your space. So you have to give every woman the opportunity. You don't coerce them. You don't force them. You give them the opportunity to observe you, how you've been effectively able to lead and govern yourself, and the results that you have in your life, the unspoken conversation. And you're looking for the elevated woman because she can tune into the frequency of the unspoken conversation of the results that you have in your life, which are a reflection of your ability to lead and govern yourself. If you can lead and govern yourself over time and you have results, favorable results, then the elevated woman knows that you can lead and govern her, and she will transfer herself into your space. So that's what she's looking for, is to transfer herself into your space. And there's a lot of women out here who untraditionally have become elevated women without the guidance of a father, the traditional covering that the woman traditionally has, the father. There was one episode, one live stream of Kevin Samuels. I speak about him periodically because he was very impactful in my understanding of things and impactful in my life while he was alive. Rest in peace to the Godfather. In my book, this one right here, How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women, it came out April 2nd, 2020, right when the lockdown happened. The lockdown was March 26, 2020 with COVID. My book came out April 2nd. So it was right when the lockdown happened. And that's right when Kevin Samuels began to transfer from talking to black men to black women. So our subject matter was exact in terms of we were both talking to black women at the time. And I tune into every live stream. And there's several that really stand out to me, but I want to talk about one in particular. He was talking to a group of black women like he did every night on his live stream. But this particular night, every woman that called into his show was 26 or younger. And he was just so thrilled at the end of the live stream that these women were seeking guidance. They were so young and they were seeking guidance. They were trying to effectively learn how to transfer into the space of an elevated man. And I remember how excited he was. And so what you have a lot of times are young women who don't have the traditional picture of a father or elders in her life or elevated men to show her how to make the transfer. But instinctively, because she's chosen, she's seeking wisdom through the other sources that are provided to her to learn how to effectively transfer into your space. This is what the elevated woman needs from you once again. And she's seeking the guidance to recognize the man and deem you as a man that she can safely transfer herself into your space. And that live stream was very telling, that these women were going out of their way to get this wisdom. And a lot of times, the elevated woman, she's elevated because she's a thinking woman and she's an intelligent woman. That's what allows her to recognize the magnitude of the men that are in front of her. She's a thinking woman. And a lot of times these women will see their elders, the women in their life, and the chaos that surrounds the women in their life. And they're smart enough to say, I want to go the opposite way of the women in my life. And that's when they start to seek guidance and they start to seek wisdom on how to operate in the space of an elevated man. And those women, those young 26 and under women on Kevin Samuels' live stream that night, every one of them said, I don't have a particular picture of how to do this thing, but I'm seeking it because I don't want to be like the older women in my life. And a lot of the elevated younger women, they're looking to you because they've done some work, because they begin to take in wisdom from different sources so that they can go the opposite of the chaotic women in their life. So this woman is sizing you up. This elevated woman is sizing you up. She understands that if you show up the right way, you're a gift to her, but she's sizing you up to see if you're a safe space that she can transfer herself into. And another thing that the elevated woman needs from you, she needs you to have an entrepreneurial endeavor outside of your job. And let me explain that and the meaning behind that and the importance that you have it. The world system, society tells you to get a job, get an education, work until you barely have any energy, ride off in the sunset, get a little bit of retirement money and die. That's the matrix. That's the world system. But the elevated woman is looking for more. She's looking for you to have an identity, have an understanding of your gifts, your talents, abilities, and your unique perception in the way that you see the world. She's looking for you to have an awareness of the unique things that you have to offer to this world. That's what she's looking for. And so an entrepreneurial endeavor, and I'm never going to downplay a job because we all have to survive. Okay, as men, we should all have sovereignty over our lives, be able to move and shake and move about in life in an independent manner. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with a job. But when a elevated man, when his instincts kick in, he doesn't want to subject himself to the matrix, meaning that he doesn't want to make the job his sole source of survival. And so when a man trusts himself, then he's looking for ways to offer himself to the world independently and get a return. He's in tune with his gifts and talents and abilities and his unique way and perspective that he sees the world. He's identified it. He's taking inventory of himself and the cards that life dealt him. And he's making the best of them, and he's packaging them into something that is an entrepreneurial endeavor. What that communicates to the woman, the elevated woman, is that she's always going to be safe in your space in terms of survival. On a conscious, unconscious, and biological level, she needs to understand from you that you are a safe space for her survival. And you're a safe space if you have the courage and the trust and understanding of yourself and in yourself that you're willing to package your gifts and offer them to the world for profit and for return in an entrepreneurial manner. So the fact that you can make money and you can create resources outside of the world system, the matrix, which is the job, it shows her that you, number one, trust yourself, and number two, that you will always be a safe space that she can rely on for survival. The late, great Dr. Wayne Dyer, the philosopher and motivational speaker, in one of his lectures on his book, The Power of Intention, he said, when you choose to trust in yourself, you're choosing to trust in the same wisdom that created you. She's looking for you to trust in yourself. An entrepreneurial-minded man trusts in himself because he's trusting in the highest gifts and attributes that he was given from creation. That's what Dr. Wayne Dyer said. When you choose to trust in yourself, you're choosing to trust in the same wisdom that created you. She's looking for you to have a direct line to the wisdom that created you, your source. And so when you can produce outside of the matrix through the gifts that the source gave you, then she understands that you trust in yourself and you trust in the wisdom that created you. And she understands that she was chosen and she was designed to trust in the man that trusts in the source that created him. And so the entrepreneurial endeavor is the evidence that you don't have faith in the world system. The world system is unstable. The only thing that's stable is the place that we all came from, eternity, creation. And she needs to see that you have a direct line to creation because she's elevated. And she needs you to have an elevated perspective of yourself and of life. And you're unafraid. She needs you to have a fire, okay? She needs you to understand that no matter what life deals you, that you're always going to be solution-oriented and you're always going to be in a place of self-sufficiency. She needs you to have a fire. That's what the elevated woman needs from you. You have to have a fire, meaning that there's nothing that can extinguish your flame. There's no life circumstance. She's going to see you through different seasons before she fully trusts you. Life is going to put all of our backs against the wall, but the truth of who we are comes out when our back is against the wall. That's every human being that walks the earth. You can pretend as much as you want to. You can manipulate, you can play, but life is going to put your back against the wall. And when life puts your back against the wall, that woman is looking to see what comes out of you. And if there's a fire, that means that even if you take a blow and you go down, you're not down for long and you're bouncing right back up because there's a fire that moves you. you're connected to the source, and you understand that there's no circumstance in life that can not make you continuously move towards your purpose and move freely in the identity that you have for yourself. A man with an identity and a focus and a purpose cannot be moved by any adversity that he encounters. And that's when she can fully trust you. That's what the elevated woman is looking for. That's why she's comfortable. The very things that make the other woman uncomfortable, the ones that I talked about in my previous videos, because she can't control you and she can't manipulate you and, all of those sorts of things, this woman is opposite of her. This woman is looking for reasons to trust you. She's looking for reasons to follow you. She's not looking for reasons to talk herself out of the space of an elevated and great man. This woman is the woman that's designed to pair herself with an elevated man. So you have to be on point. You have to be on point. And so she's taking inventory. She's taking spiritual inventory. She's seeing how connected to your source that you actually are. She's seeing how much you trust yourself. She's seeing how much of your belief is in yourself versus the world system. She's looking to see how connected that you are to your source. Because ultimately, you're going to be her source if she submits herself to you and comes in the order of creation, God, man, and her. She's looking to see if you're the safe space that's attuned with your source. Because if she can see the residue and the results of the source in your life, she can now look at you as her source. And that's what she's looking for. That's what the elevated woman is looking for in a man. She can stomach your presence. She's not intimidated by how attractive you are. She's not intimidated by how the world responds to you and celebrates you. She celebrates you. She doesn't despise you. She doesn't want to conquer you. She wants to experience you. And that's how you know you have an elevated woman in your space. So you have to do the right things within yourself to prepare for her. Make yourself recognizable to that woman, because you don't want to squander that woman because you don't get many of her. And she's going to show up precisely at the right time because she's going to be sent to you. But just because something is sent to you doesn't mean that you're adequately prepared for it. So I wanted to introduce some very important things in terms of your development as a man that make you recognizable to the elevated woman. And I made this video tonight so that you will understand what she needs in order for you to be her source, in order for her to effectively transfer herself under you and into your leadership. That's what this video was about tonight. But I think I pretty much covered it all. And if I didn't cover it all, I'll make a part 2. But thanks for hanging in there with me. That's pretty much it. This video, what the elevated woman needs from you. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach, bringing you the video, what the elevated woman needs from you. And it's been brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to help me to move up the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And if you want me to speak on a custom topic and make a custom video, because you all put that in my comments, make a donation of $50 or more to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. Leave your note in terms of the title that you want me to speak about in a note on PayPal or Cash App, and send your donation, and I'll speak on the video. If your topic that you want me to speak about is too in-depth for a note, make your donation and then email me at matthewchorne.com with a more in-depth explanation of what you want me to speak about, and I will do an assessment and I will provide your answers in terms of a video. It will be on my channel, Matthew C. Horne Dating, within 24 hours or less. I move quickly. And if you know that my message tonight has elevated your thinking, you're better for having encountered this message, and that my voice is truly resonating with you, make a substantial donation, or whatever you can donate, make the donation to my PayPal or my Cash App that's in my video description. Help me to continue to go and grow as I continue to help you to elevate and grow as well. And if you're in need of coaching, if my voice resonates with you, and if you know that I can provide guidance and leadership to help you to get optimized outcomes in the dating space, meaning that you can overcome whatever you're facing and experience breakthroughs. If you have that level of peace as you hear my words and my voice, then don't forget to contact me for coaching. Wherever you want to go in this dating space and relationship space, I will take you there. Email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave coaching in the subject line and your email, and leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space. I will do a very thorough and in-depth assessment of whatever issue that you're facing, and I'll get back to you promptly with the terms of the coaching, and the coaching will begin immediately. I've enjoyed spending some time with you tonight. I hope that this message has been impactful and empowering and enlightening in terms of what the elevated woman is looking for. This is the woman that is the gift. This is the woman that will recognize the magnitude of the gift that you are. This is the woman that will take your chastisement, and you won't have to speak to her about the same issues twice because she values your wisdom and your guidance. This is the gift purely sent to you from heaven. And this video tonight was about how to not squander that gift, how to be a safe space that she can land in and submit to and transfer herself to you. So really take this message in. I think I said enough. It may be a part two. I'll just go as I'm led. But thank you all for spending some time with me tonight, and I'll be back with you very soon with some more videos. And I'll see you soon.